Yes, ma'am. Hmm? Uh-oh, you faded out. Good evening, and welcome to King's Title I Parent and Family Engagement Input Meeting. Today is February 27th, 2025. I'm looking at the picture that APS has given us here, and as I look down, I don't know about you, Principal Gibbs, but some of these students look a little familiar, just a little familiar. Maybe they were a little younger. So I want to start off by saying, under the Title I compliance, we must ensure that we use two avenues of communicating to our parents when we have this type of meeting. And so I just want to begin by showing you a snippet from the January newsletter of the PTA, where they have mentioned here that we have our Title I meeting at on February 27th at 5 p.m. So that was also posted to our school calendar. We also have it on the King website where most of our meetings are posted, everything that's going on. So we made that announcement there, and it's been living there since about January. One of the other avenues we used was the Go Team. We have the Go Team meetings on a regular basis, and so it's included in the Go Team minutes and when the meeting goes out the month before. So right there, you have your Title I input meeting, February 27th, 5 p.m. virtually. And so we do make sure that we use several avenues to get the word out. And one of the other avenues that I use is to ensure that I am talking to parents directly in the mornings and the afternoon, as well as having the information posted in the front office, so that as parents come in the office, the front desk staff is so good about the reminders that I give them and asking them to help me remind parents that we have an upcoming event such as the Title I program, and it's most important. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that those things are out there. Even talking to our Spanish speaking families, engaging with them directly or through one of the teachers is one of those avenues. And so if we don't have something printed in Spanish, we'll make certain that we do so going forward for all of these important meetings that we have. The agenda for the evening that you just received the welcome. Of course, Principal Gibbs is on here, as well as Ms. George, our media specialist. So we welcome you to the meeting once again. We're going to review the 2024-2025 school goals for continuous improvement and some action steps for family engagement that Principal Gibbs might want to share. And we are going to move into the family engagement survey results, the Title I input survey, and then how we're going to go about gathering input for the Title I family engagement. And going forward, as we every year we have to revise both the parent and family engagement plan as well as the school parent compact. APS missions: through a caring culture of equity, trust, collaboration, every student will graduate ready for college, career, and life. The APS vision: a high-performing school district where students love to learn, educators inspire, families engage, and the community trusts the system. At this time, I'm going to move into the 2024 School Goals for Continuous Improvement, and that will be presented and spoke to by our own Principal Kimberly Gibbs as soon as she adjusts her camera. There you go, ma'am.
Hello. So this year's SIP goals. So our SIP articulates the process of continuous improvement for our schools so that all students achieve academic success. Before revising the SIP each year, our school reviews current data. We conduct a needs assessment and we update our SMART goals to relate to literacy and numeracy, which align with our district priorities, and the whole child, graduation rates if it applies, but that applies to high school, and college and career readiness, which also applies to high school. The continuous improvement plan includes action steps that will help us achieve our goals and monitor our progress throughout the year.
And I only gave you a few of these, Principal Gibbs, so don't get nervous and say, "Hey, what are you doing to me?" So
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay, so our goals for this year is to increase our ELA proficiency from 26% to 29% by the spring. We take our Georgia milestone test starting at the end of April, and we will continue through mid-May. We are also working to increase our math goals our math proficiency from 15% to 18%. And then we're going to decrease our behavior referrals by 3% from 718 incidents to 696 incidents. I actually think it's actually 500 and something to 3% from 500 and something. So that would be on me. The other thing is this has since been updated by our goal team, but these are a list of our school strategic priorities and our school strategies. Some of these strategies in our last two meetings have been updated. We no longer use the care team and attendance teams. That team is actually called the whole child intervention team, is actually what we use. And our math goal, looks like this slide might be a little old. This slide is from the 2024 because actually our ELA goal is from 29% to 32%. And our math goal is from 19% to 22%. So these goals are from last year's, but we'll get the updated slide and get it put into there from our goal team meeting. Here are our family engagement goals. Our family engagement goals align. You'll see the updated goals up there at the top. They actually tell you the actual numbers, which is 29 to 32, 19 to 22. And all of our things that we do for our families align with our ELA and math goals. We do our Love to Read month and we do our One School, One Book. We're currently in our One School, One Book. We do a literacy night, which is a curriculum night for our parents. Our students participate in the district reading bowl. They also participate in the Black History Bowl and the district academic bowl. All of those things have already happened and they were pretty awesome. So we did see some great improvement. The Black History Bowl is actually in a week or two, but the Reading Bowl was pretty awesome and we did a pretty nice job. As far as our numeracy goes, once again, we talked about the curriculum and instruction family engagement night that we do. We also do some math competitions, whether they're with a club or in the classroom or district wide. And we also plan this year to do our State of King data meeting. That's going to be a meeting where I present all of the data that we have so far and the progress that we've made so far as a school.
Fantastic. Thank you, Principal Gibbs. The 2024 Family Engagement Survey data. So the purpose of the Family Engagement Survey is to understand the family's relationships with the school, to identify the areas of success and opportunities for growth in the partnerships between the schools and the families, and to guide the school's priority areas to ensure alignment with the school's budget and continuous improvement plan, which Principal Gibbs just discussed, and to explore pathways that strengthen the trust families have in the schools. So we just did a full staff capacity building on Tuesday, and that was really one of the things that the district representative and I actually discussed, and that was building collaborative efforts and being authentic in our engagement with our families, and sometimes doing some things that are a little bit different from what we've been doing in order to engage our parents and our families. So the survey design and focus areas, they are the top tier is to support student success, everything that we do. This is like a house. That next level is to share the power, your strategic family engagement, collaborative with the community. So we're going to collaborate with families, 1- and 2-way communications, warm and welcoming environment. So those are actually the pillars in which APS designed this particular house. So there were 19 statements that were in the actual survey, and the responses are a linear scale, strongly agree to strongly disagree. And the survey took about 5 to 10 minutes. And our survey window was from December 1st through the 20th of 2024, just before we went out for the holidays. The category breakdown. Actually, you got to say it was not applicable in your thought process. I don't know, strongly disagree, somewhat, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat agree or strongly agree. So over here, we have the breakdown of 83% that were favorable out of 4,386 responses. This is actually King's information. So King's information showed that we had 110 families that actually provided responses, and 74.9% of those responses were favorable. And in that favorable response, there was sharing power. So there were 2 questions there. Strategic family, there was 1 question, and then collaborating with community, there were 2 questions, and that was still at 67.9% favorable. So collaborating with our families, engaging, supporting family wellness, and embracing warm and welcoming environments. There were 5 questions in that category, and it scored at 78%. So that was really favorable. And then here we clicked on the categories below within the house, and it actually, if you go to APS graphs, you can actually pull this information. It is there available for the families, for all of the stakeholders to take a look at just how we scored in these particular category. And so here it actually breaks it down. It is color coded for you, and we did relatively well in those areas, scoring above 40% in each of those, even at the highest at 56% with strategic family engagement. So we're excited about that. I'm going to share one of the open-ended questions so that when you go and take a look at the survey responses, you can actually know that you can click on that tab that will allow you to take a look at the specific question and the responses. So the one here is, what can schools do to strengthen its relationship with families? What is the school doing well? And then within that text box, these are some of the responses that we receive regarding communication. Communication is often inconsistent and regularly takes the form of very long text messages from individual teachers. So this person suggested organizing the communication into consistent messaging would help. And sometimes the message delivered different information about due dates and priorities. So what this does is that it actually affords us an opportunity to see how we can streamline our processes. So this is actually us listening to you. The next response was, communication with the parents is great. Continue to communicate with the families. Engage with elementary schools with events that cross all elementary schools in a cluster. So we are actually addressing that because we are having those type of events, such as the 6th grade Jumpstart. PTSA just did a new parent student perspective meeting on Wednesday night, and it appears that those numbers were spectacular. We are glad about that. The school, of course, offers tours throughout the school year. And so you call in, that is posted. You can come in. We have tours consistently. And most of those tours have turned into us having some great students to join us here at King. Let's do follow up when a concern is raised, provide additional information a week or two later so we know that there's resolution or not. So that's good stuff. That's the information that we want. And this is the transparency that APS wants us to seek. And then for us to provide, how are we going to customize that for King? And we know that the communications comes in all formats. Some people prefer written, some people prefer text. And we're trying to meet you on all levels. So we are looking forward to getting your input as we move into the next year. The input for the Title I engagement. So your input starts at, it is now time to revise our 2024-2025 Family Engagement Plan, as well as we will receive a new district family engagement statement. All of this information lives on the King website, and it has the live links that will take you straight to the family engagement plan. And so you go there and it's under the parents tab. And once you go into that tab, it has the full family engagement plan. Let's see if it will allow us. Are you all able to see that? Are you able to see that family engagement plan? I think it may have crossed over to my other screen, but
No,
when you
ma'am,
tap,
we still see the main PowerPoint.
you still see the main PowerPoint. Okay, for some reason it is, let me see if it's allowing me to click over. And it is not, but do know that that is a live link that is on the King website, the family engagement plan, as well as the student compact plan. And what we'll do is we continue to do is that both of these are printed plans that are in the main office. Your teachers have access to those plans. And so the plan is to send those out again as part of the 2025, as part of this Title I input. So the plan is we're going to be sure to resend the family engagement plan and the student compact plan, as well as the district family engagement plan that we should be receiving from APS if it's going to change up for the next year, to ensure that parents are able to take a look at those and to provide us input. The plan is also to provide printed Title I surveys. We're going to print out the new Title I surveys to get input from this year. We're going to take those questions and actually take a look at those questions the way we have taken a look at these questions to see what is it that we can do for our parents, what is the expectation, and how we can revise both that engagement plan and the student compact plan to include the revisions that the parents are actually speaking to. If we can do better with our communications process, then that's what we're going to offer. Any of the suggestions that come through, that those that particularly match up with the information that we've just received. Because one of the things that we've received in the past is that parents don't particularly care for too many surveys. So if we're able to take this data from this survey, as well as to ask you a few questions, and we will be doing, again, personal information gathering, meeting parents in the morning. Parent volunteers are waiting to assist with this process as we gather information, firsthand knowledge, because if we were able to get 110 responses through the APS engagement, our goal is to at least get 100 participants to give us some input as we move to the next year, gathering Title I input, all of the information that parents may be concerned about, and giving us feedback as to what they would like to see us do in this Title I school. This is our contact information. Do know that the second part of this is to have those printed surveys available here in the school, to actually do a joint meeting with the PTA where it includes surveys that can be taken in real time in the next PTA meeting, PTSA meeting, and any other avenues where parents are here in the school so that we can gather this information in the next 30 days and then be able to provide feedback in April. And so that is the plan, to partner with PTSA, print out hard copies, engage the parents in real time, and then come back and actually compare this information so that we can pull together a plan for 2025, 2026. And that is the Title I input message for you for this year, for this spring. Principal Gibbs, do you have any closing remarks or statements?
Yes, I want to display the updated strategic plan for everyone so that they can view it. So I have it up, so I'll go
Okay.
ahead and display it.
Okay, I'll stop my share.
Okay, you guys can see that.
We can
So
now.
you can?
We
Okay.
can now, yes.
So this is our updated strategic plan. Is our goal is to go from 29% to 32% for ELA, 19% to 22% for math, and to decrease our behavior referrals by 3% because we exceeded our goal on our behavior referrals last year. So that's 558 to 542. The things that are highlighted on this plan are the school strategies that we updated as a goal team this year. So we updated our 1B. We went to analyze data from Right Score already in the classroom formatives. We also added Goal 1C, which is to create and implement specific supports for subgroups, such as our ESOL, gifted, and students with disabilities, by having teachers use research-based co-teaching models and providing very specific accommodations. We also updated 4A, which is to use our AMP Up survey results, which is our updated climate survey, student feedback through the Prowler Pack, which is our principal advisory group, and our IB student council. Our IB Student Advisory Council. And then 5A, which is our whole child. I said something about our care team and attendance team. Those are outdated teams. We now have one team because they actually all deal with behavior. And so that is a whole child intervention team. We will monitor students with high rates of absenteeism, and we will work with and mentor those students and put in best practices. And then we will have some quarterly attendance incentives. We have an attendance clerk who handles all of our attendance along with our school social worker. And then we updated 6B, which is multiple supplemental platforms. We use IXL, iReady, Right Score. Our ESL students use Alexia. We will have to go to the next page. Sorry, guys. And then we didn't have to update any of our school strategies for our priorities 7 and 8 because they already very specifically aligned.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much for grabbing those, Principal Gibbs. And I did want to just add that there are some things that we've done with the parents and particularly with our communities, actually reaching out to the communities of the students that are here. Along with our partner, Whiteford, we went into the community, met with the regional managers and several of the leasing office managers there on site so that we can sit down and talk and collaborate about the number of students and families that are actually, the families that have students that attend King. And we know that's a large number because we have buses that run out of Mechanicsville that come to King. So the plan is neighborhood by neighborhood, being able to go in and establish those relationships with those communities to get them talking with us, getting them to come into the school to join the PTSA, to be more informed, and actually seeing how we can assist them. We need to hear from them, and so that's most important. So that's one of those things we're having to do differently, as well as starting the All Pro Dads chapter. We realize that the dad chapter is more than just the dads; it's also the male influencers, which are our staff. We had quite a few male staff members here, and every day they are in the position to influence influence these individuals, and they do. And I imagine it's a tough job, especially when you are a parent and you have to parent all day. And so we appreciate them. And we took time out this week to actually just gather around the male staff here with one of our partners, CareSource, to talk to them, to engage them, and to let them know that they do have a support system. So those are two of the things that we're doing, as well as we're preparing a teen summit so that we can actually focus on, as Principal Gibbs just stated, some of the whole child initiatives. Maybe we can do something small, which is the plan, to just gather and identify some students and actually engage in the process of how can we help them with behavioral health, actually speaking to their parents about some parenting, guiding skills, getting our APS social worker and truancy office involved to actually provide some tools and tidbits on how to be better engaged as a parent. So we're excited about what's happening here at King, and I look forward to bringing you input from the spring input surveys that you will be completing. And at any time, please refer to the King website. On that website, you are able to connect with all of our social media handles, as well as get the contact information for our counselors, our social worker, and anyone else that you need to reach out to directly, because it is an open door policy here at King Middle School. So thank you so much. And this concludes the Title I Spring Input meeting for this evening.